All right, welcome to Tulsiology. I'm Dave, and Tulsi Gabbard has a new website. It's the same address, tulsigabbard.com. It's fortunate that she has the domain. I'm surprised some Democratic slimeball didn't go in there and try to buy that out, but she's had it during the campaign, and she still has it, and she has transitioned. She is no longer, obviously, a candidate running for president. She was talking about new endeavors and what she's looking forward to doing. It appears that she has some kind of a PAC or some type of organization that will raise awareness for issues that she was concerned about during the campaign. If you go to the About page here, you get the bio, the early years, the service above self, the cost of war, running for Congress, in Congress, and my spiritual path, which again, she's not afraid to share her faith, which I think is pretty cool. Apparently, you can email Tulsi scheduling requests and press requests and so forth. In the post-election mayhem that we're currently in right now, where Trump is not conceding, Biden is basically taking over everything, and he's appointing Wall Street, and he's lining up all of the absolute worst characters. And you could say, well, Trump had some seedy characters too. Trump's characters were seedy, but they were outside seedy. We didn't know. With Biden, everything is telegraphed. Almost like Joe Biden is owned by all of these people, including China. Okay, we have to be clear on this. Is if Joe Biden is victorious when they go through all the recounts and they do certification, because that's when elections are decided, when they're certified, okay, if he does prevail, it will be due to the idea that big tech, which is pretty much owned by the Chinese government in one form or another, helped him get to the presidency. And I would say that's probably China collusion, right? So if that all happens and Tulsi Gabbard is out here talking about these issues that are really important to many of us, what type of impact will that have on a President Biden? Quite honestly, I think it would be a really big move, an olive branch move by either one of these guys if Trump is to prevail, if Trump offered a job to Tulsi Gabbard. And I know there are Tulsi people out there that just hate Donald Trump. There are most Tulsi people out there, though, that understand why you would pick Trump over Biden. I don't think any Tulsi supporters voted for Joe Biden. They'll say, hey, Dave, you should have voted for Jorgensen. You should have wrote Tulsi in. Whatever, I voted for Trump. Sorry. You know, there are people out there that did do that, and call me a coward, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm finding a lot more comfort from those on the right who seem to care about the rule of law and the Constitution and certain things. And I know there are some defects to some of their arguments, but I would rather be with people who actually like the country. And I think Tulsi Gabbard, one of her appealing qualities is she would say, this great country, our great country. She wasn't out there smearing the country like we've always been horrible and we're not redeemable. You think of how useless of an argument that is to basically say we've been defeated before we've even tried to do any reformation. We haven't done enough, even though we've made great strides, and we'll never make enough strides. I mean, that's the argument that you hear all the time. Tulsi Gabbard, though, had a different message for people, and that's what resonated. You may not agree with her on many issues, but you liked what she brought to the table. It wasn't divisive, it wasn't mean-spirited, but it was tough and firm in places where it needed to be. So I come at this just kind of wondering what's next for Tulsi Gabbard. I'm glad she's got a new website. I'm glad she's going to be raising awareness. She says, there is no challenge we cannot overcome. I hope you'll join me. Now, I think she's just going to start an organization and she wants people to join it. I'd like to see her develop a full political movement, even to the extent there could be some other alternative party. And I know she doesn't like this because she wants that party infrastructure to be in place. And even though I think the Libertarians probably present the best vehicle for her that's already got a motor and a starter and the car will drive and so forth. If you look at the number of votes Jo Jorgensen got this time around, it's not very impressive. It was very weak. Considering the two candidates that you had, you would think that you would get more interest in that message, but Jorgensen was not the right vehicle. You need somebody who's far more charismatic and interesting and passionate. You know, the whole hockey mom, soccer mom thing, it's okay, but apparently it's not enough. And you have to use every available means to get your message out. And I'm not sure in this social media age that enough was done, both from the Green Party and the Libertarian Party. I think Tulsi Gabbard is a better fit in her own party. And she's got to figure out, I'm not talking about the Democratic Party, I'm talking about like the Tulsi Party. You can't call it the Tulsi Party, but you need to call it something. I suggested the American Party, you know, just because neither of these two parties really represent Americans. So if you had an American Party, everyday, ordinary Americans would finally kind of get their say. They would know just by the name of the party that Americans were going to be represented, not foreign governments, not foreign nationals, you could go down the list, not large corporations, all of these institutions that have set up shop, all of these influencers, when it comes to big money in politics and so forth, you would know that you, Joe Citizen, Jane Citizen, you'd be the first one on the list that this party would take care of. A true populist movement that sees all these different belief systems and somehow manages to kind of, you know, coexist with all of them. And I think that's the new way forward. The Democrats and Republicans would do a lot to start to learn about what people really want and need and not foist their own view of what they want and need. And hopefully Tulsi Gabbard, she has her finger on the pulse of the working class and the ordinary citizens just trying to make ends meet. All right, so good luck to Tulsi with this new endeavor, and we'll keep you up to date on what happens when stuff happens.